Okay, so today we're going to be learning about place value and understanding place value. Okay, so numbers are made of digits from 0 to 9. Just like letters make words, digits make numbers. Like 2 and 5 equals 25 when you put them together. Each digit has a special value based on its position. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 0 is also a digit. Each digit lives in a special spot that tells us how much it's worth. The position of a digit determines its value. 5 ones, 4 tens, 3 hundreds, and 2 thousands. These are all digits with different place values. For example, the number 345 is all inclusive of digits. So 3 times 100 equals 300, 4 times 10 equals 40, and 5 times 1 equals 5, which sums up the answer to be 345. Just like in a house, the same person can do different activities in different rooms. In numbers, the same digit has different values and different positions. Okay, so the tens place. When we have 10 single items, they group together and move to the tens place. So you have the digit number 1 here and the digit number 9 here, which equals 19. And so since there is a 0 in this place and the 1 goes up front, it equals a 10 in total. And then you add the 9. And so examples of tens are 1 10 rod, 2 10 rods, and 3 10 rods. So a 1 digit in the tens place equals 10 ones. So 10 1 digits. Okay. So in this, we are counting the ones place as a digit. So here is an apple, and for 1 apple equals 1 digit. So if there is 2 apples, there are 2 digits, and then 3 and 4 equals 3 and 4 digits as apples. So we use the ones place for the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0 too. Okay, so when we have 10 groups of 10, they group together and move to the hundreds place. So for example, you have 10 10 rods here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you have 100 flat. So it goes from the ones place to the tens to the hundreds. And 100 one digits equals 100 as a number. Okay, so the thousands place is after the hundreds place, and we use a comma to separate the thousands from the hundreds. So here is a thousands cube, a hundreds flat, a tens rod, and a one block. So commas help us by separating the numbers so that the 100s aren't confused with the thousands. So for example, this is 1234 with the comma, and without the comma, it is just like reading the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, which is a lot harder to understand as a number. So let's build the number 145. So this is a 100 flat, which equals 100. And then plus Okay, so continue our lesson. 145. So this is a 100 flat, which equals 100, plus 410 rods, which equals 40, and 5 one blocks, which equals 5. So once you combine all these um, blocks and flats, you will get this as your answer. So 100 plus 4 tens plus 100, 100s, 4 tens, and 5 ones, which all equals to 145 once you add them up. So each digit has a specific value based on its position in the number that we are creating. Okay, so the position of a digit determines its value. So if there's a 2 in the hundreds place, a 6 in the tens place, and a 3 in the ones place, these are all digits. They all have the digits in common, but their position changes them um, to a different value. So in this case, it would be 200, 60, and 3, since every time you move up from the ones place to the tens or the hundreds, you add a 0 to the end of the digit. So the 2 in the hundreds place is the value of 200. which represents two groups of 100. And the 6 equals 60 because it represents 6 groups of 10. And the 3 is in the ones place, which equals the digit 3, or the number 3, which equals 3 single units. So you can look at this as two 100 flats, 6 10 rods, and 3 1 blocks. This helps us understand how numbers are composed. Zeros are a very important factor in numbers, and they could help us know the value of the other digits. We call it 0 the hero because it holds a place in the value. So for example, you have 207. So the digit 0 is placed in between these two digits, but even though it doesn't have a value or any like it doesn't make a change to a number, it makes a change to its position in the number. So if this 0 wasn't here, it would just be 27, which meant the 2 would be in the tens place. But since the 0 is in the tens place, it would be 207, since the 2 would move up to the hundreds place. So numbers can be written in various forms, more specifically 3. And so the first is standard form, which is written with the digits that we just practiced with. For example, there's 45, 321, 1,789, and 5,003. These are all composed of digits only. The next form is word form, and these are written with the words. So it will describe the number written as letters. So these same numbers, 45, 321, 1,789, 1,789, and 5,003 are the same as these digits written here. Now moving on, there's expanded form, which shows the place values while they're being added to the number. So for example, there's 45 here as the sum, and then we can see the equation, which shows 40 plus 5, which equals 45. And then it's the same for the next numbers, which is 300 plus 20 plus 1, and 1,000 plus 700 plus 80 plus 9, and 5,000 plus 3. These are all the same numbers, but they're just written differently to show you the positioning of numbers and words. So this is comparing numbers. So to compare numbers, first you count the digits, and if there's more digits, then it means it's a bigger number. And you start from the leftmost digit, which is the largest digit possible in the place value, and then you read from left to right until you find the end of the digits, and then you compare those digits to the place value. So for example, you have 4,567 and 4,657. So we will read this as we'll start from the left. So both numbers have 4 in the thousands place, so they're the same. But when you look at the hundreds place, the values are 5 and 6. So these two digits are not the same. So that means we have to compare both of them. So now we have to compare 5 and 6, and 6 is greater than 5. So this determines that this second number is greater than this number, since the highest value on this number, which we compared, is the highest compared to this one. And these are the comparison symbols. So this symbol is comparing the less than. So there would be a number that is less than the number, there's a number on the left that is less than the number on the right, which you use this symbol to represent that. And then the next symbol is the same symbol as this, but it's flipped over to show that it's greater than, so that on the left it shows the greatest number that is big and the lowest number that is smaller than the number on the left on the right. And this is the equal to symbol, which means both numbers are the equal value. Okay, so we're going to round to the nearest 10. So first, you'll have to determine the tens digit and underline it. And then look at the 1 digit for the place value. And then in rounding, you have to see whether it's 5 or more. And if it is, then you have to round up. And if it's 4 or less, then you have to round down. So this is comparing the ones digit. So, okay. So if we have the example 47, we first look at the tens place, which shows 4 as the value. And then we look at the sevens place. Since 7 is higher than 5, we will round up to 0. So whenever you're rounding, you have to round either up to 0 or down to 0. So since this is rounding up, we will move to the next tens place, which changes this 4 into a 5, which determines the rounding to a 50. So number 2 shows 82 as an example. And so we see the digit in the tens place is an 8. And then we look at the ones place, which is 2. And since 2 is less than 4, then you will round down to 0. So you will keep this 8 in the tens place, but you will change the 2 into a 0. Okay, now we will start rounding to the nearest 100. So when rounding to the nearest 100, you want to look at the tens digit. So if the tens digit is 5 or higher, then you have to round up by 100. So, or if it's less than 4, then you have to round to the same hundreds digit that you have in the number. So, for example, you have 351. So if you want to round this to 100, then you will have to look at the tens place. And since this is like 5, then you will have to round up, which makes this 400 since it's higher. So the tens place made it 400. And then we have another example, 749. And you look at the tens place and it shows 4 as the value. So we will round back down to this hundreds place, which will like stay the same. So that means you have to round to 700. Okay, so why place value matters. Understanding place value helps us in many different situations. So it helps us determine the difference between money. So if you have $1 and $10, you can determine the place value by looking at the zeros in the ones and tens place, which can determine the value of the amount of money that you have. Another reason is reading large numbers. So we can use place value to read big numbers like 2,567. And setting up math problems, knowing place value helps us line up numbers correctly. So if you have a big number and a small number, then you will place the biggest number at the beginning of an equation for a math problem. So in this case, it is 256 plus 130. And so we can compare numbers and see which one is bigger based on place value, and using the place value symbols that we talked about in the comparing numbers, comparison symbols. So we can use this to compare numbers. So 456 is less than 789. And making estimations, rounding helps us make quick estimations. So like before, 447 is rounded up to 50, which we can estimate quickly based on the place value. And also you can use this in real life problems. So we use place value every day when we're either counting items, measuring things, or telling time. So this is a very important skill, or like a measure or like estimation that we do in daily life. So the summary is that every digit has a home in the place value or somewhere to sit, either if it's either in the ones place, the tens place, hundreds, thousands, or so on. And this place tells us its true value in the number, which can then determine the value of the whole number itself. And understanding place value is the key to success in mathematics, since it is used in almost everything possible in math. And we can build and read any number using place value. And here I have a video to show you, so I will play that.
Place value for kids. Today, we will learn all about place value. We will do some activities together to help you become number reading champions. First, let's talk about the word digit. We use the word digit to talk about any number from 0 to 9. In the number 356, there are 3 digits. 1, 2, 3. How many digits are in this number? It's 3 again, isn't it? 1, 2, 3. Numbers can be made up of 1 digit, 2 digits, or many digits. Each digit in a number has something called a place value. What is place value? Place value tells us how much each digit in a number represents. This chart represents the values ones, tens, and hundreds. It's important to learn the value of each digit in a number. For example, the number 5 in the ones place has a value of 5. But if we move the 5 to the tens place, we now have 5 tens, or the number 50. And if we move that 5 over one more time to the hundreds place, we now have 5 hundreds, or 500. Let's look at a number with 3 different digits. This number is 567, and each of those 3 digits has a specific place value. Let's slide this number into our chart. The place value is now listed below each digit. This number has the place values in the hundreds, tens, and ones. There are 7 ones, which equals 7, 6 tens, or 60, and 5 hundreds, or 500. You can also think of this number as 500 plus 60 plus 7, or 567. With place value, you will always put the final digit of any whole number in the ones column. Then, all the other numbers will automatically fall into their correct columns. If the number only has 2 digits, we again start with the ones column and insert the last number there. The 3 in the tens column represents 3 tens, or 30 in this number, and the 4 in the ones column represents 4 ones, or 4. We do the same thing if the number is only 1 digit, like in the number 6. The 6 gets inserted into the ones column, which means this digit represents 6 ones. Quick quiz. In the number 786, which digit is in the tens place? Did you say 8? That's right. There are 8 tens, or 80. Which digit is in the hundreds place? Did you say 7? You got it. There are 7 hundreds, or 700. Finally, how many ones are there? I bet you said 6. You're on a roll. 786 is the same as 700 plus 80 plus 6. So far, we've only looked at numbers with 3 digits. Let's talk about the place values after hundreds. The largest 3-digit number we have is 999. The next number is 1,000 and has 4 digits. Can you guess what the next place value is named? Did you say 1,000s? Great job. So, what do you think the name of the next added place value column is? Did you say 10,000s? If so, you're exactly right. How about the next one? It's 100,000s. Can you see the ones, tens, and hundreds pattern repeating? On this next chart, we get to 1 million's place value. The pattern then repeats again to 10 millions, 100 millions, and then billions. We've practiced assigning place values to different numbers. Here are a few final questions to help you review. Fill in the blank. Digit is another word for... Did you say number? Awesome! True or false? The last digit of any whole number always goes in the ones column. True! No matter how big or small the number, the last digit always has a ones place value. Which digit in the number 1,472 goes in the tens place value column? Did you say 7? Fantastic work, number experts. Place value is a really important tool. You'll use this tool to help you add, subtract, and even multiply and divide numbers. Hope you had fun learning with us. Visit us at learnbright.org.
So that concludes the lesson for today. I hope that you guys understood something about place value and how to use it in life.